until I wanted to do this. Hello, hello, hello. I'm not sure my face right now, but what I'm doing, first of all, I want to shout out my dear friend Elena. In case she watches this, she got this for me on a trip. Don't mind that. It's pencil chewed up. This is what I put some of my crochet hooks in. But anyway, she got me this little poodle thing. She went on a trip. I used to take care of her dog. She took care of mine. She was a neighbor, dear friend for years. And so anyways, I still have it. And okay, so today I'm going to attempt to do a tutorial. I apologize, I'm not showing my face. I was trying to set it up to where I just show my my work on my little workplace. So I've got my little light set up here, and I'm going to try to do a tutorial. Look, it's been like 2 years since I have done any crocheting. I have stenosis in my neck, so sometimes my hands just go completely numb, and I can't do anything. Whoop. So I'm going to try though, right? So I've got my little light set up, and I'm going to bring this down so that you can get good visibility. And as you can see in the picture, thumbnail, or whatever, this is probably way too big of a hook. So I am going to use my pink one, which is a 5mm. I don't know if you can see that or not. Anywho, and I'm just going to do a newborn baby hat. So starting, I'm going to bring this down here, try to have the white background so it'll be better lighting wise. So I apologize, I don't have the best setup here. I'm trying to do the best that I can so that you can see my hands. Apologize. All right. Try to do a little bit of a close up. I'm trying to get my little. I'm assuming that if you're watching, that you already, I'm trying to do this for people of all stages of crochet abilities. So I'm going to do a chain, and I'll probably usually do 6 to 8. I'm sorry, I'm doing a baby hat. I was thinking I was doing booties there for a minute. So probably about 4 just to create the first hole. So I'm just going to chain about 4, and see, it's not tight, but it's not real loose. Okay, so then I'm going to go, I'm going to go ahead and do 6. Keep in mind, this has been a long time since I have done anything. 2 years probably. I've done lots and lots of hats. So I'm going to go through the first hole there, and then, whoopsie, I'm just going to wrap around and bring through both holes to create your first small hole there. Okay, then I'm going to go down in the first hole, and I don't wrap around till I get through, and I'm going to bring it through. Okay, I stretch a little bit. Then I'm going to go down into the next one and do the same, just bringing it through. That is going to be the first beginning of the hole that will eventually widen and become the base round crown. Bringing it through. And you'll know when you get to the other side. Because remember, we only have 6. Oh, doggy. No. Sorry, my feeling. Apologize. See, my dogs, my poodles, don't give me the light of day until I get to doing something. And I'm telling you, they get jealous. Like if I put the laptop in my lap, anything in my lap, they get so jealous. Now my mouth, I'm so sorry. She come over there and knocked it over. She's like, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know who you're talking to, but I am jealous because you're not talking to me. And I don't know. It makes you wonder, what do dogs think when you're over there talking and there's nobody there, Do they understand? Probably not. They know that I'm talking to somebody else and not them. That's what they know. My babies. They do not like it. Anyways, they've been pretty talkative. Okay, this is not going to work. Sorry. No, freaking no. No. You didn't give me the time of day until I was trying to do this. And now all of a sudden you want my attention. My dogs are freaking out. Like, you can't do this. You have to give us the time of day. I have just spent the last half hour with you playing, and then you went over there and laid down and wouldn't know what to do with me until I come over here to do this. I am so sorry, guys. Anyways, I love my babies. But they do that. They act like they was going to go to bed, and they was done with me until I come over here trying to talk to somebody about something. It's my babies for you. Going through, but you get the idea. Okay, so now I'm in. I got one more, and you're going to see how it's going to come together. See? So now you know you're in the last one. All right. Bringing it through. Now, I have made my first. That's the base. You'll be surprised to see how this is going to expand. Okay, so now I'm going to wrap around, and I'm going to go through this first. Now you should have two. See that? I don't know. All right. So I'm going to wrap around, go through the first two. Now I'm going to bring it. Now I have three. I have three. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep on going through. Ta-da! Now, that's what I'm going to do each time. Go through two, wrap it around, and then just go on through. Dun, dun, dun. I'm kind of pulling it as I go along. I don't know. It depends on what kind of yarn that you get. Like generally for baby stuff, I like to get the really soft stuff. This is just your standard yarn. I think, I forget because I don't have the wrapper on it. I think it's that the kind you buy. I got it at Walmart, so if that tells you anything. All right, that regular. Okay, go. I'm going to go through. Pull it just a little bit. So you're going to be able to put maybe a pinky through your hole there. But that hole should not ever be bigger than that. And basically when I get done, in the end, I will bring that together when I put the palm on top. And I'm going to put a palm on top. So just in case this is the type of bonnet or whatever that you add something at the top. So you may not want that kind of opening there. But I have that there for a reason. In the end, you'll see. So it's a little bit tight, but whoops, I have to go back through it again. So I apologize if it's not the best lighting. I'm trying to. Now I got three on. Oops. And I'm going yarn over, and I'm going to bring it through. All right. I'm going to redo that stitch because I had a little bit of a lanyard there, if you will. Wrap around, go through the two, and then just bring it on through. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, and just keep doing that. Go through. You might want to keep count how many times I'm doing this. I'm going to watch it later and then write down the instructions. And then go through. I'm really doing this as kind of like a follow along, but I will watch it and then literally write down. I'm just not good at writing patterns, but I try to. So as you see, what's going to happen is this is going to get like it has straight across, and then you're going to, what's eventually you're going to do is you're going to add a stitch. as you go around, so it starts to expand. So wrap around, yarn over, you got 3 on here, and then bring it through. So you only have 1. And then again, kind of stretch apart a little bit. So I'm getting to that last, I'm wrapped right back around. So now I know, you should be able to tell when you're back at the beginning because it's just a wee bit bigger. I say a wee bit bigger. Okay, yarn over, whoop, yarn over. Now you have 3 on here and bring it through. Okay, so now I'm at the starting point. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a chain. Do 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 do. And just so you know, big clue, when I make ruffles, I just add chains when I go around and it ruffles. Easy peasy. Okay, so see that hole right there? Because I added a chain, normally you wouldn't go in there, but because I added a chain, that's where my starting point is going to be. See that hole? Because I added a chain, I'm going in that hole. Remember, you still have your hole, your middle holes right here. Okay, I'm just kind of keep that open as I go along. And you first start your crown. What I'm doing right now is I'm making the crown. It's going the crown basically would be the crown of the baby's head. It would be about, I guess, probably about that big, you know. So this is for a newborn. So this is the base hole, and this, because I added a chain, I'm going to wrap around. I'm going to go in that hole, bring it around. Okay, and now I have 3 on here. Wrap it around and go through the 3. Okay, so as you see, that's going to make it go bigger the next time I go around. All right, now I'm not going to add a chain. I just add a chain when I start a new circle. Okay, I'm going to wrap around, go through the 2, and then I'm going to wrap around. I have 3 on the hook, then wrap around and go through the 3. Sorry about that. Okay, and I'm keep doing that. Wrap around and go through the next 2. See 2? See that or not? Anyways, wrap around. You have 3 on the hook. Wrap around and go through the 3. See, it's starting to widen a little bit. Okay. Wrap around, go through the next 3. Wrap around, and you have 3 on the hook. Wrap around, go through the 3. Remember, just kind of keep track of my hole there. Just kind of keep it stretched. Don't want it to curl. Kind of training it as you go along. Because I do tend to crochet a little bit the tight stitches, so I'm trying not to make these tight because at the crown you kind of want it loose just a little bit. All right, so wrap around, go through the top 2. All right, wrap around. You have 3 on the hook, and you're going to wrap around and bring through the 3. Now you have back to 1. Okay, so now I think, yeah. So now I'm back at the beginning. All right. So now I'm going to add 2 chains this time. A 1 and a 2. And I'm going to go again into that hole right there because I added 2 chains. Wrap around, go through the hole. You have 3 on the hook. Wrap around and bring through the 3. I'm not very good at doing tutorials. I'm trying, guys. Yeah. Okay. All right. So as you can see, got the crown just starting to take off here. Wrap around, go through the next 2, wrap around. You have 3 on the hook, wrap around and go through the 3. See? All right. This thing is wigging me because it's too long. Anyways, wrap around, go through the 2, wrap around. You have 3 on the hook, go through the 3. Yeah. I know they call that single crochet, but I just tried to sound it out as I go along. All right. So wrap around, go through the 2. Now that is the end there. So got 3, wrap around, go through that. All right. So now keep in mind of where your center hole is. And remember, just try to kind of stretch it and, you know, flatten it. So you're creating a circle here. All right, now we're back at the beginning. You should have a pretty decent circle there. See? So I'm going to add 2 this time. I'm not going to add 3. I started out, I added 1 and then I added 2, but I'm going to do 2 again. I'm not going to add more yet because we're still building on your center crown, the crown of the baby, if you will. So wrap around. No, my apologies. I'm adding 2. Okay. Remember, we're going to go into that hole there. Wait a minute. This hole here, normally you wouldn't, but because I added 2 chains, I'm going to go into that hole. Wrap around, go into that hole. Wrap around. You have 3 on the hook, see? And you're going to bring it through. Okay. So as you see, you're starting to expand. So wrap around, go through the next hole, wrap around. You have 3 on the hook. And all right. Wrap around, go through the top 2, yarn over. You have 3 and bring it through. Now when I go fast, I can make a baby hat in probably, like if I'm not like talking and doing it at the same time, I can make this in probably, oh, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour to make a baby hat. And usually I have the palm pre-cut, you know, because when I'm making Christmas gifts, back when my godkids have a baby, popping up babies, I'll make several. Anyways, I'm trying to make it with I do apologize, a white background to just help with the lighting. All right, but I'm laying on my couch too, because I'm sitting on my feet, and so, all right. See? So I'm going to wrap around, go through the next 2, yarn over. I say wrap around, yarn over, same thing. 3 on the hook and bring it through. Okay. Wrap around, go through the next 2, yarn over. You have 3 on the hook and bring it through. Okay. All right. Keep in mind where your center hole is right here. All right. So wrap around, go to the next 2, yarn over, wrap around, yarn over. I guess I should be consistent in what I say. I apologize. Bring it through. All right. Now, see, you have a little bit of a tight hole because when you add that extra one, it's kind of a weird little hole that you have to go through. Try to show that. It's a really tight little hole, and that's where you added a chain, but you want to go through that. May not make sense. I don't know if you can see that right now, but when you're going through it, you'll remember that. There's a tight a smaller, looks like a smaller hole because you added that chain, but you definitely want to go through that. Okay, wrap around, go through the smaller hole, which was your starter chain, wrap around, yarn over, I mean, and go through the 3. All right. So you will have these tight little holes that you have to go through. It's really hard to show, but see, it's real tiny. It's real tiny, but that's where you added a chain, but you want to go through that. Wrap around, go through that little hole, yarn over, then you have 3. Don't pull it too much. You don't want to stretch that out. And then yarn over and bring it through the 3. Now it's going to try to curl up a little bit, and you just want to kind of keep training it as you go along. Keep mind of your little center hole there. So for a little bit, it'll kind of look like it's creating the shape of an eye, but don't worry about it, because it'll sort out, I promise. Just trying to, I know I don't have my yarn isn't, I should be pulling it from the end, but this one skein got a little bit messed up. Okay, so I'm going to wrap around, and then going through this little hole here, wrap around. You got 3 on there. Wrap around and bring it through. All right. Now, as you see, it's starting to expand. We're about halfway through our crown. Now, you'll see this hole's a little bit bigger. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Wrap around. This is where you did a double chain, and what it is it looks like there's a big hole there, but what it is this, there's a hole here where you just have to open it up. It's a little tricky, and that's why you don't want to make them too tight. Hang on, I'll get to it. I'll show you what I mean here. Just a minute. As soon as I open it up, I mean, it's tiny. This is the part where you might want to use a smaller hook. Well, what did I do? I mean, hang on, you guys. I might break out my smaller hook just for a minute. Yeah, I'm going to switch hooks just for a minute. I'm going to break out my 3.5 millimeter because I made this chain too tight. Oops. Sorry. All right. Just as soon as I get that through there, show you what I mean. No. Anyways, okay. All right. So as I was, yarn over, go through, yarn over, you have 3 on the hook, and then go through. Okay. Now, yarn over. Now here's that weird little hole. Remember where you added a stitch, but you want to go through that weird little hole and just bring it together. It'll come together, I promise you. But that's why when you do add that stitch, try to make it a little bit loose, because when you come back around to get through that extra stitch that you added, and you don't have to, okay, wrap around. There we go. You see what I did? Now it's going to try to start to curl. Don't worry about it. Wrap around and bring it through. Okay, so here's what you want to do. Find your center hole and just kind of train it, stretch it. Now, see how it's going? It's going kind of like you have a flat top. So you know you've reached the other side. This is where you're going to add a stitch. This is where you've come back around, and because you added, now you have to add around again. So it'll sort out. It'll curve around. I promise you, it'll work out. So going to add 1 and 2 chains. Then I'm going to go into that hole at the bottom there, where from the base where I added the 2 chains. Okay. Now I'm going to wrap around. I'm going to go down into that hole, and I'm going to wrap around again, and I have 3 on my hook. And then I'm going to bring it through. Dun, dun, dun. Now you got that weird little extra hole there. Remember, you got to go in down into it. Wrap around, go down through that little hole, wrap around again, and have 3 on the hooks, and bring it through. See? It's going to circle. See? It's going to sort out, promise you. All right. Wrap around, go down into the hole, wrap around, and bring it through the 3. Okay. Wrap around, go through the hole, wrap around. You got 3 on the hooks, and bring it through the 3. You're going to wrap around, bring it through the hole, wrap around, bring it through the 3. Okay. You're going to wrap around, bring it through the hole, wrap around, bring it through the 3. All right. Wrap around, bring it through the hole, wrap around, bring it through the 3. Now, see that little gap there? Like that right there? See that? All right. So I'm going to add a stitch, okay? Then I'm going to go down into that little gap there, wrap around, got 3 on the hook, and then bring it through. Okay, so then I'm going to wrap around, go through, wrap around, and bring it through the 3. All right. Wrap around, go through the next 2, the next stitch. And then bring it through the 3. Wrap around, go through the hole. Whoop, whoop. Oh, my neck. Okay. Go through the hole, wrap around, you have 3 on the hook, and bring it through. The hole, wrap around, and bring it through. Oh, just going through here. Okay, now I need some more yarn. Should have pulled from the other end. Anyways. All right, so I've got one stitch there. Keep mind of your center hole. Keep mind of your center hole. Find your center hole. There's my center hole right there. Okay. So it's going to try to start to feel like it's curled. Just keep smoothing it out. You're not ready to let it curl yet. Wrap around, go through, and bring it through the 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, and bring it through the 3. This is the same stitch over and over, except for when you're adding. Okay. All right. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, and bring it through. And okay. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, bring it through the 3. Okay. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, bring it through the 3. Do do do. Do 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 do. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, bring it through the 3. Do 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 do. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, bring it through the 3. And wrap around. And then you're going to come back to that weird little one hole, and you know you're starting another row. Go through that. Do your normal stitch. What's going on? Uh-oh. What's happening, baby? Let me tend to my dog. Oh, hang on, guys. I'm so sorry. She's stuck. Okay, baby. Hold still. I got you. Is she stuck? Yeah. You got her tongue stuck. You need to stay off of that, baby. All right. Sorry about that. No, you're not sitting in my lap right now. No, sorry. That falls over, baby. No. Come on.
No, nobody's sitting up here, so don't get mad and jealous. Oh, it was a rascal. No, Nadia. Nadia, get off my yarn. I'm crocheting. Stop. Yeah. I got my poodle up here. She's like, she is not taking no for an answer right now. She's like, I'm going to get in her lap, and that's final. So she's told me, stop. Stop. I'm so sorry. I have my yarn all wrapped around my camera wire. This is not going so well. My poodles are just so jealous of my talking to the camera. They're just not having it. This is just unacceptable to them. Okay, let me crochet. You can sit there, but let me crochet. Let me crochet. All right, where was I? Oh no, I've got it upside down. I'll have to redo that stitch. I love you too, but let me crochet. No. Okay, here are my eyes now. Anyways, my poodles. Okay, you can see my pet animal playlist that I have. You can see all my doggies. All right, so no, Nadia, no, don't. Let me do this. Okay, I promise you I'm going to play with you when I get done with this. Okay, let me finish. Thank you. Okay, so when you come to that weird little hole where you started a chain, that's where you're starting. But before you can start another row, you have to add. You have to add. So wrap around. You go through that. Go 3 on there. Go through the 3. Okay, so now I'm at this hole, that weird little hole. I'm going to go through that to finish. Wrap around. Go through that weird little hole. Wrap around. Okay, sort of stretch it out a little bit. And bring it through the 3. My dog's like, stop talking to your yarn, lady. Now, find my center hole. Okay, so now your circle is starting to stretch and come around. See, it's starting to stretch, and you're getting, this is about the size of the top of the crown of the baby's head. All right, so I'm going to close that up. See that little top, there's a little bit of a gap there. And I'm just going to go through that weird little hole there and just bring it through. Okay, so what's that hole there? All right, now I'm going to add a chain. One chain, just one chain. All right. We're like, why'd you do that? Oh, there she goes. Sorry. All right. Now, see that hole there? You have that big hole. You're going to go through and just do the same stitch. It's just a monotonous same stitch kind of situation. Now, because you have, now you're going to add another chain. Now, because you've done with your crown, you add a chain, go through. Now you're going to add one more chain. Wrap around. Then you're going to have this little weird hole to go through. Wrap around your 3 on here and go through the 3. All right. Now you have this extra little hole down here. Wrap around, go through that. You have 3. Wrap around, go through the 3. See, you just added. See how you just added? Okay. All right, so wrap around, go through, and go through the 3. It's just the same stitch. You're just adding a little bit more. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, and 3. Oh, I'm sitting on this heating pad. I'm really hot. I'll have to turn it off here in a minute. Wrap around, go through the next hole, wrap around, go through the 3. My dogs are normally in bed by now. It's midnight where I'm at. Hey, oh, who's here? Hi, Deluxe. When are you giving away Robux? Where have you been? Dude, I've already gave away. This is my crochet live stream. You need to go watch the videos. Okay, so I'm doing a crochet live stream right now. Okay, so wrap around, go through, wrap around, and there you go. Okay, wrap around, go through the hole, wrap around, and pull through the 3. All right. Oh, he left already. Yeah, so if you're coming to, if you, I'm not live streaming for Robux. I go check the giveaway Robux giveaway playlist, and I'm pretty sure I put the most recent videos on the top of the playlist, and you can watch and see who won. And yeah, so if you know, I do weekly giveaways, and not just Robux. I also do retail gift cards and Visa gift cards, and I have gaming network. I have my crochet network, and then I have my Bible reading playlist that I do. And so I just do various giveaways, and I try to kind of combine them all together. Because some of my gamers, they like the crochet stuff too. They're like, make some stuff and put that in the giveaway. And I said, oh honey, I done got it planned. Yes, I am. But one of those gamers, I tell you what, smart kid, made a game. He developed a game for me on Roblox, and so I have my own game on there. The please donate. I love Roblox because it's what I do when I'm relaxing. If I'm unable to crochet, that's another thing that I do in my, just like one day a week, like, you know, a game. I don't play games all the time. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, and I have 3, and go through the 3. And I don't like violent games at all. But I have an older Xbox 360, and then I have an Xbox, the original one. And so I have chess game on it. I have the Bible game on it. And those games, I'm waiting on my remote control. I have to get a new remote. And but I started with Xbox for physical therapy when my spinal cord was displaced. It was compressed. So I had to have major surgery. And so Xbox, the Connect, is my part of my physical therapy, and still is. Anyways, so wrap around. I want to apologize to my longtime subscribers. Wrap around, go through 3. I've been on YouTube since 2009, and I had done a video, and I said that, you know, I told them about my surgery that was upcoming, and then I just didn't post anything for like 4 years, and I feel bad. Like, you know, I should have done an update. And I try to like comment on some of my main subscribers that I communicate with just to let them know, you know, but anyways. So I've just come back last month from a long absence, if you will. And so I'm trying to get back in the groove and make new crochet friends and reconnect with my other ones. All right. Some of my friends paint as well, and I like to paint too. So wrap around, go through, wrap around, and 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. It's pretty monotonous. And just kind of always be mindful of your center hole. And wrap around, go through that little hole. You have 3, and then go through the 3. There's my center hole. Okay, wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. It's been so long since I've done anything, so I apologize. Wrap around, go through the hole, wrap around, and go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. See, it's starting to curl now. You see that? It's starting to curl. Okay. So this is your crown. you're getting your base crown down, but start to curl. All right. Wrap around, go through the little hole, wrap around, go through 3. All right. Wrap around, go through the hole, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through the hole, wrap around, go through 3. Whoop, all the way through 3. You come back here. You trying to get away off my hook. All right. Now, as you see, we're going to have to add here because see how it's flattening? So we're going to have to add here. Now we're at the beginning. So we're going to add 1, and then we're going to add a 2. All right. And then we're going to, instead of going down into here where we normally go into that hole at the bottom, we're going to go ahead and go through the first chain next to that and wrap around and go through 3. Okay. All right. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Remember, when you add that chain, you want to add that extra chain, you want to keep it loose because it's going to be a weird little hole that you come back to, like an extra hole that you have to go through that continues to expand. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. All right. Wrap around, go through the hole, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through the hole, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through that little weird hole, wrap around, go through 3. Whoop, I messed that one up. Okay, I'm getting it back together. There's that weird little hole. Go through and kind of stretch a little bit and go through 3. All right. Wrap around. Go through the hole, wrap around, go through 3. All right. Now, you see that we're almost to that weird little hole again. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through. Okay, I'll try that again. All right. Starting to curve. Now, I'm going to just go through the hole and not wrap around. And then I'm just going to bring it through. So it's kind of like I put 2 ends together, right? Okay. Now I'm going to chain 1. And then I'm going to go through that weird little hole beginning the next row. Remember, when you have that weird little hole you're beginning, that's where you had started a new row. Wrap around and you have to go through that weird hole and wrap around and go through 3. Oh, this is easy to follow. I don't know what it's like if you don't know what I'm doing. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. It's kind of monotonous though, really. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through. Wrap around, go through the hole, wrap around, go through. It's just the same stitch over and over. It's just a matter of how you're adding. You see how it's starting to curve? Okay. And so then as you go along, you'll get to the point where you're going to start adding and it becomes wider. And then it's going to start becoming your little beanie hat, basically, is what it is. And then with the palm on top, mindful of your hole in the middle. That's the hole that you'll be adding the palm to later. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Okay. So at some points it may look like the shape is changing, but I promise as you go around it'll end up as a circle. But in the end, what happens is it starts to curve like this. Because when the bonnet It'll set, eventually it'll set like a round thing like that. But it should be able to fold like this or so with the ruffle on it, which I always put ruffles on mine. You don't have to do the ruffle if you're just like a cuffed, or maybe some other kind of edging to it. But I like ruffles, especially on babies. Okay, wrap around, go through, wrap around. Oh my gosh, you should see my high school prom pictures. We were laughing so hard. I graduated in the 80s, right? Late 80s. And our prom dresses had these big, huge, boothy ruffles. Oh my word. Goodness. Anywho's, wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through. There was like 5 of us. And it was, I think, my junior prom, and my boyfriend was off to, he was in the military. I'm saying the college guy. I was in high school. But anyways, he was off at officer school. So I didn't have a date for my junior prom. So, we're just a group of us gals hung out together, and we all had ruffles on our dresses. Oh, my prom picture's hilarious. It's still pretty though. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. And I had ruffles in my hair too, y'all. I'm telling you, my mom had taken me to some beautician, and she put ruffles in my hair. I mean, I call them ruffles. It's this weird wave that they did to my hair. It looked like a little ruffle. Anyways, ruffles was in, y'all. But on babies, I think ruffles are always cute. They never go out of style. Anyways, wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Okay. Now it kind of, I mean, like I said, it looks like when you're, going around, it almost looks like it has sort of a triangle or two, but don't worry about it. I promise you. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. I don't know how I created this when I did this years ago. I've done so many baby hats and booties. I just make them up as I go along. But I do the same one though, same pattern. I just know it. I just don't know how to express it and teach it. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around. I think somebody who's an experienced crocheter though, they should get the gist of what I'm doing though, you know what I mean? But for beginners, people that like follow along, just the principle of adding stitches and knowing where to add them. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. All right. So it will start to curve a little bit. Just be mindful of your hole, your center hole there. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through the hole, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through the hole, wrap around, go through 3. Now, this is going to be your outside because the string will be the inside. This will be your inside, just so you know. This will be your outside. And as it's starting to take its shape, Okay. Now, okay. So now I'm going to add 2 stitches, 1 and 2. See that big hole there, right there? Remember I had those 2 stitches? Yeah, we're going to go back down in there. Wrap around, go through that hole, and bring it through the 3. So now, see what you have here? Imagine a little tiny baby's head. Remember, it stretches. This is your crown. Baby, maybe, I don't know, 7 pounds. So if you're planning for somebody who's going to have a bigger baby, you might want to add a couple stitches when you first start. Like I started out with 6 in the chain. You might want to start out with, I don't know, 8 or 9 if you're going to have an 8 or 9 pound baby. All right, so see that hole there? You see that you have an extra hole right here, that little tiny extra hole right there? Okay, so we're going to use that. Go through that little extra hole there, wrap around, and then go through 3. Okay, okay. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. And so basically I do the same pattern for adult beanies. I just make it bigger, obviously. And then you can get more narrow if you want like the beanie that has like a kind of like a nightcap type of beanie. I do those kind too with the palms on the end. All right, so wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. And I will be doing the kitchen towels soon. I looked and looked and looked. I could not find my yarn needle. Like to do the kitchen towel things, I have to do my yarn needle. So, but I do a lot of kitchen towels and pot holders for Christmas gifts. So if you like those kind of things, and for those who want me to incorporate, crochet crafts into my giveaways, please tell me what colors you like. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to take a break, but I want to show you this scarf that I have. Tell me what you think. Just a basic scarf. It's actually pretty good length. I don't know. So I've got it folded in half right here. What do you think? I'm thinking to add some, like maybe another row of a different color, maybe a darker pink, and then maybe put like a shelled edging to it or a ruffle. I think this will make a nice giveaway gift. What do you think? Anybody interested? Anybody like that scarf? What if I add another edge to it with the shell edge to it? Or maybe some fringe. What do you think, guys? What do you think, ladies? Sorry, I'm saying guys. Y'all. I'm saying y'all. Y'all. What do you think, y'all? Okay. All right. See what we got here? So this is, you can tell, see how there's a little drop there? You know you're getting, see that? See that? That means you're coming to the end there. All right? That means you're coming to the new row pretty soon. Wrap around, go through that, wrap around, go through 3. All right, this is your last one. Wrap around on this row, wrap around, go through 3. All right, so you're coming to your end here. So I'm going to go ahead, before I add a stitch, I glow into that last one that I know where a new row is starting. Okay, so now look what we have, guys. I'm going to stop and pause. Stop and pause if you don't mind. Okay. Mindful of the center hole. I do apologize. Center hole is right here. See? So I would say right now it's a good 3.5 inches. That's probably about the side of the crown of a baby's head. Okay. So turn my light here. All right. Okay, moving on. Now, as you go around, it's going to get wider. It will get wider this way. Okay. So this time I'm only going to add 1 stitch. 1 chain. I'm only going to add 1. I'm going to go back down into that hole there at the bottom. Right? And now you're going to have that weird little hole there. You're not going to go down to this big hole. You're going to go into that weird little extra. There's an extra chain there. The one that's the weird hole. I call it a weird hole. That's because you added a chain. And you want to go into that, not into the bottom down here. You wrap around, go into the weird hole. Sorry, guys. All right, wrap around, go through 3. So you just basically added a stitch you do on each side, and it helps to make it wider. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, whoop, 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 go through 3. All right, yeah, just kind of, I like to stretch it as I go, you know. Mindful of your center hole there. Yeah. And I try to be consistent in the tightness of the stitches, especially when you're adding a chain. You want to make sure you make them loose, because remember, that's going to be that weird hole that you have to go through, and you might have to break out a new needle, a smaller hook, if you chain it too tight. Okay, wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. I've been doing this for 56 minutes. Usually I'm done by now, but this is going really slow. Okay, wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. And, you could always just pause this and just note the time, and then come back to it later. Wrap around, go through that hole, wrap around, go through 3. You know what? I'm going to redo that one because this yarn has got a fray in it right there. I don't like that. It's going to wig me out. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Well, try again. Okay, wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Okay. All right. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. If you would be interested in my giveaways, please just comment and let me know. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Because I generally don't put people's names in the drawings just because they're my subscriber, because I may not even be interested, you know what I mean? And then there's a whole bunch of people that are, so, I like to know who is interested in them and which one, because I do the craft item giveaway, and then I have retail gift cards, and then I've got people watching from like 50 different countries based on my analytics. So I try to keep in mind that, some people can't get retail gift cards, will do them a bit of good. And I really don't want to ship internationally. Oh my goodness. But I, give them like a Visa gift card, cash gift card instead. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. And I will not let anybody that's a minor give their address out to mail them anything unless they have their parents' permission. So, yeah. I don't want kids giving their address out for nothing. Just ask their parents. Okay. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. I don't know. According to my analytics, last week I didn't have anybody the 13 to 17 age. This week I had a couple in there that was 13 to 17. So I don't know. Sometimes I think if they're signing up under their parents' name or something, I don't know if that analytics are actually accurate, I guess I should say. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Oh, because I know there's some that they're in school, so I know they're teenagers. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wait. All right. See how it's starting to take on its shape. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. All right. So you'll see that there's kind of like a point, and that's going to be where it comes together, and then you're going to add right there, and it rounds out when you do that. So there may be a point where it looks like it's pointy, but that's just because you haven't met up with it and rounded it out. So don't panic if you see that. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, and go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Whoop! Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, and go 1 through 3. Okay, see that? See where that point went? Okay, now, fun. That is. See, there's this big hole here. Now you see where there's these extra chains that we created. Yeah. So there's that little hole there. That little hole right there before the big hole. That is where I'm going to add a chain to. Add a chain. I'm gonna skip. Instead of going down in here, I'm gonna go into the weird hole. Wrap around and go through 3. Dun dun dun. So it will round out. All right. Then I'm going to go down into that hole there. Wrap around, go through 3. Around, go through the hole, wrap around, go through 3. See what it's doing? Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. And then there comes a point where you don't add anymore, and then you just continue to crochet. Wrap around, go through 3, around, go through the hole, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through the hole, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through the hole, wrap around, go through 3. And you know, whatever I could do better to help, I mean, in doing tutorials, like I'm not the best at it, let me know. See that? See where there's like an indentation and then it raises up a little bit? That's where that's where that's where the beginning, you're coming to the end of a row. This is hard to find out where your rows are when you're doing a round circle. But basically, that's how you can tell, too, just by looking at it, eyeballing it. See? Because I generally don't count. So I know there's some people that say that they don't either, you know, but a lot of people are very particular. They like to count, do it that way. And I'm not one of those people. I'm sorry. Wrap around. And go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. See, you're coming to the end there. I got one more before I'm going to meet up with the edge there. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Okay, so now, see that? That's the beginning of a new row there. Looky there. See, mindful, see where that tail is? There's your center hole. Okay. All right. Okay, now I'm not going to add any this time. I'm just going to go through, find that first hole there. And I'm going to go down into the bottom of it. Not adding a chain though. Okay. And then go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through 3. Now I'm just going to do the same stitch, moving right along now. You know what to do, right? Just going through the hole. My skein is a mess. I do apologize. Okay. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Do 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 do. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. No, my dogs are all asleep. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Okay, now you should be able to see where your rows are. See? I'm going to stop, pause. See that? All right. So that is the crown of your baby's head. So now your little tiny newborn's head, little tiny newborn's head is going to start going around. It's starting to take shape. Yeah. Okay. Wrap around. Little tiny newborn's head. Because in the wintertime, definitely you don't want a loose hat or beanie on a baby. It'll fall off. You don't want it really tight either. But the idea is to keep the baby's warm head. That's the idea of it. All right. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Do do do. Trying to keep my tension consistent. Normally I go pretty fast, and so I'm trying to not do that. So you can see what I'm doing here. And I know some people are like, no, I want to sit here and watch this whole thing, but you just get the gist of what I'm doing. And I will try. It's hard for me, though, to sit there and put down the steps, though. So most people, they just want the pattern, tell me how many times I need to do what stitches. And I don't know. I've always said I can't do patterns that I have to count. I don't know why. I just can't. I tried. And some people are like, yeah, I never have either. But anyways. Anywho's. So wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. I make big blankets too. I like the popcorn stitch. I like the shell stitch. The one thing I haven't done is one with granny squares. So see that weird little hole there? It's where a row begins. Go down through that, wrap around. I've never done granny squares. I like the scalloped and the shell stitches, different types of edging, popcorn stitches. Babies like popcorn stitches. They just like that little round thing that sticks up in their blanket. So wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Okay. So as you see that this is the center. So, and then you just keep going, and it just gets bigger and bigger to the point where it's, I think, see, if I had enough storage on my camera, I could have just done the video and then just paused and then gone through it. If I'm doing the same thing over and over, and then when I get to the point where I do something different, you know, like when I start adding the ruffle, that's different, you know. So when I'm coming to the end of where it's time to do your edging or whatever. So now we're just continuing to build the base of your hat. I'm just doing the same stitch over and over. Nothing new. So again, if you want to, you know, come back to the video or skip through whatever, I will try to put a timestamp in the description of when I do something different. So that way, you know, if I get to the point where I'm just doing the same thing, because we built the base already, so I'm not adding anymore. And so when I get to the point, if I do anything different, I could just say from here to here, just do the same thing, and that way you can just sort of skip through, watch me do the same thing over and over. I hope if that helps, anything that helps, right? I got a poodle hair in here. All right. Go through, wrap around, go through 3. See what we're doing here. See what we're doing here. See, building the base. Start to take form. Be mindful of that hole there. Yeah. I heard a noise just now. Wrap around, go through 3. Through, wrap around, go through 3. Wow, I'm normally done by now. It doesn't take me an hour to do. Well, maybe. I guess if I take breaks, it does. But okay, that I can't stand it when there's a little bit of a fray. This is like cheap yarn, but if it gets just even a little bit of a fray, I don't like that. So I will redo that stitch because I don't want no frays in these stitches. Nice. Okay. All right. Go through 3. All right. So as you see, as it's getting whiter, as you continue to crochet. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. It's basically like a toboggan type of hat, but you just put a ruffle on it once you get the base shape. And I do like to put just a little bit of I just braid like 3. I take 3 pieces of yarn and I braid kind of like a tie ribbon, if you will, that I sort of darn through the bottom part of the base of the. See that start. I'll show you something. See that? It's like that weird little hole right there. Okay. Wrap around, go through, and now you're just going to continue to do the base. You know, your single crochet. Just going to continue to do that stitch over and over. You just keep going around and around and around. Uh, if anybody is watching that's wanting some clue words for the giveaways, I will drop some clue words. Lavender is a clue word, and I'll put in the description where I started adding clue words, because anyways, but you know, I'm trying to, like the crochet stuff, you know, I have the giveaway stuff for the games or whatever, but if anybody wants to, some extra entries, drop some comments of what the clue words are if you hear them, and I will generally put in the description where in the video that I'm dropping clue words, so you don't have to watch the whole thing if you're not interested in watching it. Okay, but at least I get a little bit of it. I try to build my watch time to get monetized. Main reason that I want to get monetized, they changed where you can participate in the shelf if you have 1,000 subscribers. You don't have to have 10,000 subscribers anymore. That was just nice. So if I sell my stuff, merch and products, so paintings, I do acrylic pour paintings and crochet items and crafts, and I'm going to have some merch that I'm going to be putting together. I haven't announced my brand yet. Want to wait until I get my first items done and get it trademarked. So okay. It's coming along, guys. I've got to turn this heating pad off. I can only take so much of it before I get dehydrated. But the heat helps with my pain. Okay. Now, if this, I was thinking that the white background would help a little bit. I've got this extra little light thing up here to try to help with the lighting. I'm hoping that you can see it good enough. I hope. Wrap around, go through, wrap around. It's the same stitch over and over. See? It's just going to get, like, see that right there? When I get to probably about, when I get to about right here, that much, probably about that much. That's when I'm going to start doing the ruffle. So, I'll say in the description from here to here, I just do the same stitch. So if you want to skip this part. And then when I start to wrap it up to where it starts the time to add the ruffle, then I will mark it in the description, so you'll see what part of the live stream that I'm doing what. But okay, I apologize. This moo is not the best thing to be sitting on a heating pad. I mean, it's good for wearing when you're out and about, but it's not it's not the type of material you want to be sitting on a heating pad on, like, at all. I'm not sure what material fabric is, but it sure isn't this dress, this lounging dress that I have. I've had this moo for years. It's so comfortable. I love my moo. But it's a Hawaiian dress. They call it moo-moos. It's a Hawaiian thing. Anyways, so wrap around, go through it. Let me show you something here. yeah, so all the stitches now, all the holes are like normal. You don't have any of those weird little holes now from where you added a stitch. They should all be pretty consistent now with your single crochet. It should just be going around and around now in a circle. That's where you should be at now. And you're just going to get, it's just going to get kind of like a triangle. When you fold it in half, it's going to be like a triangle. But when you sit it like this, it's going to start to create a cap. But I have it wrong. I have it inside out when I'm crocheting. But just always know this side is the outside. So I turn it in, okay? And at this center hole up here, remember where your center hole is, that is going to be where the palm's going to go. And again, you don't have to put a palm. If you don't want a palm on top, you can just close that up. But I like the little, cute little palms. Up around, go through, up around, go through. And you don't have to do the type that I do. I mean, you use your own imagination for whatever you want to put up there. Won't be long now. I'll be doing the ruffle soon. So keeping track of the time. Yeah. I'd be working on booties by now. I wasn't doing this tutorial or whatever. Taking my time, going a little bit slower, talking it through. So. And wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Look at my hair. All right. Anyways. Okay. Go through, wrap around, go through, go through, around, go through. I don't know. Some people, they just like to follow patterns. This might drive them crazy. But some people that I've talked to, they just feel like they're okay if they don't follow a pattern. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around. Around, go through, wrap around, go 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go 3. Wrap around, go through, wrap around. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. See, that one's trying to fray. No, you're not going to fray on me. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go 3. Sorry about this. I have to keep doing this. It's kind of annoying. Sometimes, if I try to pull through the end, it gets stuck, and it's so like aggravating. I don't know if there's like a knot in the middle or something, depending on where I bought the yarn usually. Anyways, wrap around, go through, wrap around, go 3. Okay, let's see how far along we are. Coming along, come along. Pull that out. See what we got going on here? The baby hatch is coming around, coming around. Maybe it's not as perfect as some people would like, and I guess that's okay. Anyways, I have done booties for like the nursing home for the veterans, and I've done baby items for ministries that help pregnant women. I like to do baby blankets too. Good. I like to do items that I could just do in an hour or so and be done with it. Um, but I've done adult blankets as well, but I usually do smaller projects. And I saw somebody did a video where they were making flowers for curtains, and I thought, well, that is really clever. And I like hearts. I do like little, little flowers and daisies and stuff. And so I like hearts also. So I like to crochet hearts and little flowers to put on blankets. You can thread it on there, or darn it on there, whatever. So I've done that. I don't think I have any pictures of those though, unfortunately. But please let me know if you do want me to throw in some crochet giveaway gifts. Clue word: crochet gifts. Please let me know like what colors you like. I don't really have a whole lot of colors right now. I have blue, yellow, this lavender. I think I have some pink. Yeah, I have some pink. And I don't think I have any white. So I'm gonna have to get some yarn. But what colors do you like? Yeah, do you like multicolored yarn with like certain color bases, mixed colors? I like the yarn that has like maybe some blues mixed in with some white, multicolored yarn. So I'm going to do some kitchen items for gifts, like pot holders and some kitchen towels. The kind of towels that you hang from your uh, cabinet or whatever, or stovetop, those kind of towels. Where you take the towel and then you like crochet a loop with a button on it. I like those. Those are real handy to have. So if you like that, I'll be doing those. And of course, pot holders. I make hearts and flowers to design them. Sorry. Now, I also do like little kids decor, like, whatever they're, like I did Batman, just whatever. I think I did a Paw Patrol set one time. You could just get the fabric with whatever little character or animal that you like, and I just take and literally cut the character out of the fabric, and then I use a non-toxic fabric glue and just incorporate it, or you can sew it, whatever. You can find iron-ons as well. You can use iron. Anyways, I like to incorporate crafts. Now see how it's starting to, where you can curl the edge. So it's getting close, getting close. Because remember, your baby's head is small, so probably about 3 more rows to right about there. Because this isn't going to be the kind where you can make it. If you don't want to do the ruffle, then just keep going to about here to where it'll just fold. If you just like that kind, then just make it longer. But I generally make it shorter because then I do a ruffle and then I darn one of those little braid ropes or whatever through it for like a tie on it. And but if you just want to do like a folding beanie type, then just keep just keep crocheting. Just keep crocheting until the length that you want, where it'll fold up and you're done. If you just want to do a general beanie, you know, then you don't even have to watch this video anymore. You're done. You just keep going until the desired length you want and just fold it up. And, you know, if you know how to close it up or whatever, you end it with just going through the last one instead of, you know, single crocheting through. So this is just basically the same stitch over and over to the point where I am done. And then I'm going to start doing the ruffle. Now the ruffles, oh no, the ruffle is a little bit different. I don't think it's that hard. I have an issue here, big issue. Go down into here because that one, something happened that might be a problem. It's not going to be, but it might be. Darn it. Anyway, something happened to that thread there. It raveled or something. Oh, foodie doot. Anyways. Okay. See that? See the size of that? So I'm probably going to go to about 2 more rows. Because see, your baby's head is probably about 3/4 away covered right now with this. Just undid that. So if you want to have the ruffle, hang on. The ruffle is super easy. All it basically is you adding stitches, okay? And then as you continue to go through every single chain that you add, it starts to just curve. It starts to ruffle. I don't know how else to say it. Ruffles are super easy. Well, the ruffles that I created a pattern to. And oh, got long to go beyond my ruffle. Woo! I've done had at least one booty done by now. Yeah, in about 2 hours, I will have a hat and booty set done. I'm going to do the booties in a different live stream. Through to do. See where I'm at now? There we go. Sorry about that, guys. So we're coming along. All right. Moving right along. Just doing the same stitch over and over. Okay, this one over here. Same stitch over and over. Same stitch over and over. See, this thing, this yarn is trying to, it gets, I don't know, like a kink in it or something, tries to fray. It's cheap yarn. Sorry, guys. I love that soft baby stuff. I saw one lady, she had some really chunky yarn. It looks so soft and fluffy. Ooh, I like that. She had I don't know what it was. I think it had the popcorn stitch in it. It was just really fluffy yarn. And I really liked it. All I have where I live, I don't have any stores. The nearest town that even sells yarns where I live is about half an hour away. And the nearest city that has various places like Michael, Hobby Lobby is about an hour and 45 minutes from where I live. So I'm very limited in my options. If I go to Walmart, thankfully they even have a yarn section left. But they do. They just don't have much of a selection. So and I would like to try that really, really big, thick, like you literally crochet with your own hands kind of yarn. Have you ever seen that? Those big, fat, thick blankets. You're literally crocheting with your own hands. Anyways. All right, we are coming to a close here. 57. I would say 2 more rows. 2 more rows. Okay, so this is the outside. See that tail there? See, if you don't want to do the ruffle, then you want to do probably, well, it's too small right now. You'd want to do this, continue to do this stitch for probably about good 6 more rows to about here, and then you'd have a nice little cuff. You know, that's up to you, you know, how big you want it to be, but I'm going to do probably about 2 more rows, and then I'm going to start a ruffle, guys. Let me whip on through this. And then, you know, you can do any kind of edge that you have a favor to, like if you like a scalloped edge, a shelled edge, or just whatever. I like to do the ruffle with a little darn a tie through it. And a palm on top. You don't have to do the palm either. But I like the palm. I like the ruffles. And with the matching booty with the ruffles, I just think it's adorable. But if that's just too extra for you, that's fine. It's your thing. All right. See? Coming along. All right. Sorry about that. Now, okay, so probably 1 more row, guys. 1 more. 1 more row. 1 more row is all I got to go. 1 more row is all I got to go. Then, when I finish this last row, I'm going to do a chain at the bottom. I mean, just like a chain stitch at the bottom of it. And then I will start the ruffle. And basically that's just going around and adding a stitch each time you go around. And I mean, like literally every other stitch you add a stitch kind of deal. And that's an easy way to create a ruffle. And if you do 2 rows to get a bigger ruffle, if you want a medium-sized ruffle, you know, then you just do like 2 rows. The more rows you add, the bigger the ruffle. So with the little baby hat, though, you're probably going to do 2 rows, and that should be enough ruffle. $140. Wow. If anybody is here, I don't know. Just comment, please. The count on my live streams do not match. When I close the live stream, and it shows how many people viewed. But the idea of this one is to be a tutorial, and I'll put in the description, you know, probably the first 30 minutes where I'm adding stitches as I'm creating the base of the crown of the head. That's the most important part to get down. But once you get to this part where you're just going around and around and around, you're just building, at this point, you're just building length. You know, this is part of the live stream you could just skip through. So, all right. Try to get my beanie hat there. Okay, so I'm going to find where to stop to start the chain. Now, see how that is lining up? So I'm at the edge here. I'm down here at the edge, and it's all even. See that? So now it's time to start adding a ruffle. So what I'm going to do, okay, what you can do is just chain all the way around, or you can just add a stitch every other stitch. Go around, crochet through, right? Add a stitch. This is going to be fun. Now remember, keep your stitches loose because you're going to be going through extra chains, and they're going to be tiny little holes. They're not going to be like your normal hole that you go through. So keep that in mind when you do the extra chains. Okay? All right. So I'm going to start that back over. Having said that, I added an extra chain. Trying to keep it loose here because you're going to go through this when you come back around. And wrap around, go down, wrap around, go through 3, add a chain, go down, wrap around, got 3 on there, go through. So you're going to do this for a whole row, and I'm going to have to undo that. This thing, oh, this unraveling yarn irks me, just irks me. Sorry. Go down, wrap around, go through 3. Okay. You want to try to make sure when you're adding a stitch, keep this extra stitch loose because that is going to be a weird hole you have to go through. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3. So you're going to do this all the way around. And then when you go back through, you're going to be going through those extra holes. And it'll start to bend and wind and become a ruffle. Wrap around. Wait a minute, sorry. Add a stitch. Go down, wrap around. So basically you're adding a stitch before, adding a chain, I apologize, before you begin each stitch. Because that extra chain is going to be excess when you come back around that causes a ruffle. And remember, when you do your extra chain, try to keep it loose because that's going to be an extra hole you have to go through. The weird, I call it the weird little hole. It was not your normal, you know, hole that you go through when you're chaining or doing your stitch. You know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean. I hope I'm not being confusing. Okay. All right. I've already done my extra chain. I go down, wrap around, and go through and add a chain. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through, add a chain. Whoops. All right. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through the 3, wee, and add a chain. So you see how that, I promise you it's going to ruffle. When you go back around after you complete this whole row, doing this extra chain between each stitch, when you go back around and go through every hole, you're going to have excess. And it's going to just be all kinds of, all right. Okay, so add my chain, go through, wrap around, go through 3, add a chain, extra chain, do it just a chain before each stitch, bottom line. I think you got the gist of it now. And add a chain. Okay, added a chain, wrap around, go through, wrap around, and go through 3. Okay, add a chain, wrap around, go through, da da da, go through 3, and add a chain, doop doop doop, wrap around, go through the hole, wrap around, go through 3, and then add a chain, doop 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 doop. All right. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3, and add a chain. Do, 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 wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3, add a chain. So see what's happening there? It's already starting a little bit of a wave. So just imagine when you come back around and you go through every single one. It's going to be woo! And you can, depending on what size of ruffle you want, you can add 2 rows, 3 rows, and it will ruffle. So I'm probably just do a small ruffle on this because I'm just trying to get through this and show the idea of what I'm doing here. And then at this point, you just kind of just custom tailor to exactly how you want it. Basically, you just get the idea of how to make the ruffle. Go through 3, add a chain. Wrap around, go through the hole, wrap around, go through 3, and add a chain. Wrap around, go through the hole, wrap around, go through the 3, and add a chain. Do, 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 do. I'm about halfway through this row. See what you see what's happening? These guppies are cute, I promise. And I am using a looks like 8H 5 millimeter. That's what I'm using. I think I said that in the beginning, but just in case. I'm sorry. I will put in the description what hook that I use, and that's completely up to you. Completely up to your preferences. Some people like bigger hooks. And I guess this numbness in my arms. I can't do the real tight ones. I need ones where I have big grips or whatever. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3, extra chain, wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3, extra chain. Remember, keep your extra chains fairly loose because that's going to be an extra hole you have to go through, and it's a weird one. It's not your normal hole to go through. Sometimes it can be kind of tight. Extra chain, wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3, extra chain, wrap around, go through, wrap around, whoop, do that again. Wrap around, go under, and extra chain. All right. Wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3, extra chain. All right. We're so close. We are, see this? You can tell when you're going to be right. You can tell when your first stitch is. See how this is loose over here? You can tell where your first stitch is. See? Don't even have to count. You'll know when you're coming to your new row. This is tight. This is not. This is a different stitch. And it's going to come together and meet. And then right there is when you're going to start, you're going to have all these extra holes to go through. And that's going to start a ruffle. Okay, wrap around, go through, wrap around, go through 3, and extra chain. My arms start to have issues with my arm. Wrap around. Oh gosh. Go through. And I'm going at the bottom. I don't know if I said that or not. Okay, and extra chain. Wrap around. Go through. Ooh, go on through. And extra chain. Only got a few more to go, and I have my first row done. Oh, my arm. My arm's starting to. Come on now, hang in there. Talking to my body. All right. Going through, wrap around, go through 3, extra chain, wrap around, go through, wrap around. My legs are going numb too. Come on. Ugh. I cannot sit still this long. It's really hard on me. Oh, thirsty. But I don't want to like take a break and walk around and stuff, which I probably should, but it's not like the type of video. If I was just doing like a regular video, I would just pause the camera, but can't do that with live streams. That'd be nice. This live stream has been paused. Man, would that be nice. Is it possible that you can create that feature where you can pause the live stream and then come back? Man, that'd be great. Anyways, somebody pioneer that, guys. You live stream developers, wrap around, go through, and chain. We got about 4 left. See the difference there? See a big hole in this? So getting close. And go down. Extra chain. And wrap around, go down, wrap around, wrap. Try again. Something happened there. Wrap around. See, it's framed. And go through 3. And then add a chain. Now, got 1 more to go. Wrap around. Go through 3, add a chain. Okay, so see this last hole here? This last hole here? This last little weird hole here, before I start that, I'm going to go in there and then I'm going to have to add a chain because I'm going to be starting this new row and I'm going to be going to all these extra holes. All right, so I'm going to go down in here. This is the last hole. Wrap around, bring it through, and add a chain. Oop, add a chain. Now, look, see, guys. We have come full circle. Now I'm going to pause just to show you what's going on here. Turn it inside out. I'm starting to make the ruffle. Isn't that cute? Now don't worry if it's small because this is really stretchy yarn. Some yarn may not be as stretchy as this one, but this is stretchy yarn. So it may look small, but I promise you this could fit a toddler's head, but it's supposed to be for a baby, newborn. So you're starting to get your little edge there. Okay, now we've done the first row, adding a chain between each stitch. And now we're going to go through and just do single crochet through all these extra holes you're going to have. Look at that weird little hole to start out with. See that weird little hole? Yeah, that's an extra chain. Wrap around, go through your weird little hole because it's an extra chain, and just single crochet all the way through, guys. You don't, now you're on this next row, you're not going to add a chain unless you plan to do another row. But I'm going to make this ruffle small, but if you want to continue to make a bigger ruffle, you would add a chain again between each stitch. But I'm not making a big ruffle. I'm going to do a smaller ruffle, but just so you know. So I'm only doing 2 rows for a ruffle. It's going to be a small ruffle. again, if you want a bigger ruffle, then you're going to add a chain between each stitch for 2 rows. And that'll make a bigger ruffle when you do your 3rd row. Okay, so I'm just going to push through. Every single extra chain that you have is going to create a little ruffle. I'm just doing a little ruffle, guys, because it's late. I got to go to bed. But I'm just trying to give you the idea of how I do a ruffle for baby hats. Now you just got to see these little extra holes you have. Those are extra chains that you did between each stitch. And you got to go through each and every one. And that will create bends as you go along, which are ruffles. But I'm doing a little ruffle, so you may not, because it's a small ruffle, you may not like the way that it looks, but I promise you, if you add extra chains for 2 rows in a row and then do one without adding extra chain, it'll be a bigger ruffle. Or you can even do 4, however many you want. But I hope you get the idea. See how it's starting to do a little bend there? Well, see that? It's just a little ruffle, just a little one. But if I had added extra chains for another whole row, it would have been bigger. And you can probably see from my pictures that I did in the video how it has a little bit bigger of a ruffle. That's because I did add extra chains for 2 rows in a row in between each stitch. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just trying to get through this little, what I'm trying to do, a tutorial. And I'll wrap this baby up because I still have to do the palm on this thing. Yeah. And then I've got to do the tie thing that I do for it. I like to do a tie for it. You don't have to. But basically all it is, you take 3 pieces of yarn and you braid it. You braid, you know, a certain length. And then you make your little tie. Okay. I'm just going to show here. See the little ruffle? It's just a little bitty ruffle. Just a little ruffle. Because again, I'm only doing 2 rows. And generally on a ruffle, I do at least 3. But it's just so late. And I'm starting to hurt. And my stuff's starting to go numb. I'm going to have to wrap this up. Okay. And see, this is 1 stitch, guys. Like literally. I mean, I'm doing different things with the same stitch. But it's 1 stitch. Easy peasy. Right? See? Alright. You're just going to go through all these extra chains that you created. Wrap around, go through. Now, when I go through the second time, I do make it just a little bit tighter of a stitch. Darn it. My hands are not wanting to cooperate. They're getting tired. See that? See that extra little hole there? That's an extra chain. So, and I'm going to try to tighten it up just a little bit. Not too much. I don't want to change the consistency. But just a tiny bit. I'm really having problems keeping the yarn on the hook as I start to wear down. Try to keep it. And I'm just doing the same stitch. I'm just going through every single extra chain that you put in on that row. Every single hole. You just have some extra holes. The little holes that are not normal holes than a stitch would create by having that extra chain in between each stitch. See? See the little ruffle, the little tiny ruffle that's going on here? Okay. Doody-doo. Doody-doo. Oh my gosh, it's only like 2 hours now and I would have, by now, I would have had a set of booties done. Yeah. So, if anybody likes this baby hat, uh, I don't know, maybe somebody wants it for the dolly. Just let me know if you want me to throw it in the giveaway thingy. I'm gonna try to do matching booties, and I should have enough with the skein, an 8-ounce skein of yarn. It'll easily do even up to a toddler size hat and booties. Okay, easily. Now, of course, the thicker yarn, if you're using thicker, softer yarn, probably, I don't know. I actually haven't had much experience with using that kind of yarn. So I think the more experienced people that crochet probably would have an idea with what I'm doing, how much they would need. But I generally like to get the big skeins of yarn. I definitely want to have extra rather than have not enough. I always like to have leftovers for whatever project that I'm working on. Oh, I've also made purses and like Bible cover, Bible purses, just a general purses. Like a little sachet type of purse. Somebody asked me to make them one time, so I did. So if you're interested in that type of item, I haven't made one in a long time, and unfortunately I don't have any pictures of that either. But if you like sachet type purses, oh yeah, I've done those too. I try to use really tight stitches for those because, again, the type of yarn, it stretches, and anyways. Well, hang on just a second. Sometimes these little holes, you gotta get through both of, there we go. All right. So, let's see what's happening here. All right. Somehow or another, it didn't go all the way through. All right. Let's see where I'm at. Oh, I'm coming to my end. See this right here? See where that's going to meet up? That's meeting up, guys. Look, getting close. Getting close. Got about here. And then when I end, I don't do crochet. I will just go through without yarning over or anything and then close it up. All right. Then I'll fiddly do this end thing trying to come around here. I don't remember what happened to this skein, how I got it into the state it's in now. I did something with it, or I think it fell over or something like that, and the paper that was on the outside of it fell off, and I don't know, I don't remember, but I try to keep them neat and orderly, but I don't always succeed. Well, I'm coming to the end of this. All right. Now, I'm going to be wrapping this up here, going through this tiny little extra hole there. We're adding an extra chain, and we're coming to the end. All right. Yeah. And looks like Yeah. Coming to the end, guys. Ladies. All right, so I'm coming to the end. Now I'm going to show you what I got and how I'm going to end the last stitch. Okay, so this, as you see where the string is, ta-da,
Now,
hang on, I'm going to turn it right side. So that where that string is hanging, that's the outside. So I turn it inside out. Okay. All right. Now don't worry, this stretches. But I would have probably gone another row or two before I started adding the ruffle, but I'm just trying to show you the gist of how to make it. And don't worry, this arm stretches. So see how it folds? Like that. It's very stretchy, so worry not. That'll fit a baby's head, no problemo. Okay. I'm turning it back side out. And I'm going to wrap the last stitch up here. Okay. Now, instead of doing what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and close it up. I think, let me see, I think I have one more stitch to do actually. Looks like I do. Bring it back down here. I thought I was done, but I have one more stitch to go. Yeah. Not missing no stitches. All right. And then, oh, okay. Now, I'm going to go in this last hole here, and I'm just going to go in. I'm not wrapping around, and I'm just going to wrap around and bring it through. And that's closing it up, guys. That's closing it up. Now, I'm going to leave a really, really big loop here. Okay. Now, just take a look here. Got baby head. And again, that's a very small ruffle. I normally do a little bit bigger, but just time, guys. Time night, that kind of thing. Okay. So now, let me find my scissors. Oh, goshky. I have scissors. I have scissors somewhere. Uh-oh. I will be right back. Sorry. Da, da, da. No, 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 no. Be right back. Where have you gone? Right. On my gaming pad. My thingamajiggy. Bring them back. Okay. Oopsie. That was just my head. That's all. Wait. Oh. Now, got scissors in hand here. Apologize. I had some. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and leave a very large loop here, just to kind of keep that open. I'm going to cut it. All right. Now, all right. Then I'll just take bring some thread, yarn, all right. Okay. Now, I would say probably 15 inches to 18 inches. And if it's too long, you can always cut it, but you don't want it to be too short. Now, I just take three pieces of yarn here. And then I'm going to take at the very end, and I'm going to tie it in a knot right here, like so. All right. And then I'm going to cut the end, and then this end here. And then basically braid it, guys. That's all you do. You braid it, and then you're going to darn it. So hang on just a minute. I do is I hold it in my mouth, and I just braid it. And it doesn't have to be tight. That's up to you. But you kind of want it to be consistent. Have you ever done macrame? I want to show how to do macrame cross necklaces. I had some like a rubber type of, not rope, but kind of like a corded thing, craft stuff that I found. And I was like, oh, I haven't made cross necklaces in a long time. And so I'm going to do some of those macrame stuff. And again, you can do this. You don't even have to do the braid. If you want to use a ribbon, ribbons are really pretty to darn through yarn. You can do that instead. I'm just doing this, is what I have. I do have some ribbon in there too. And you know, you can sew lacy ribbon on instead if you like that look. There are so many different things that you could do. You don't, you know what I mean? This is just completely optional. Again, you don't even have to do this. Okay. All right. Just so you get the idea, right? So, okay. So I don't know if that's going to be big enough to go around and actually make a ribbon as well. But basically, you know, I don't think it's going to be big long enough. But basically, you're going to darn that through. And I think you know how to darn stuff through, right? This should probably be a little bit longer. You can make, I wouldn't have a really long dangly ribbon or whatever through the baby's hat. Just, I don't know, maybe grab onto it or something. But the idea of this is for a newborn, okay? Working on it, guys. Okay. Now, I'm just going to have to let that go. All right. So that should be just barely long enough. Barely long enough to go around, guys. Just barely. Just barely. Anyways, you might want to go a little longer. Okay. Now, for the palm, and again, this is completely optional. here's what I do. I just, for the palms, I'm probably about that length right here. And I'm going to do a whole bunch of these. And then I'm going to turn it, just so you know, I'm going to turn it in the middle and then tie a string real tight around it and then just cut all the looped ends. So I would say probably about 3.5 to 4 inches long. See that? And then I just keep turning it like so. And you know, there's different ways you can make the palms. This is how I do it. And then once I get it shaped, you can cut it, trim it, shape it however you want, or just leave it kind of loose and sort of what is the word, fringy like, you know, just whatever your preference is. So anyways, just showing you how I'm looping that, and then I just take it, make a whole bunch, but I'm not going to make this really thick. I'm just showing you for the purposes of showing you how to make a palm. And again, you don't have to do it this way. Because remember, however many you have here, you're going to fold this in half. Okay? So if you want a loose fringe type of palm, or if you kind of want a thick, you know, dense kind of palm. All right? Okay. I think for purposes of showing how to do it, this is quite enough. See? All right. So I'm going to take and cut that in half. All right. So what I'm going to do is, the scissors are dull. Oh, anyways. Okay. Now, lay that down. Nice and neat. All right. I'm going to get a piece of string. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, I can't even cut with these. I'm going to take and put it underneath. Put that on top. And right smack in the middle, you're going to wrap it around. And you're going to tie like a bundle. Like a bundle. Make sure that loose. That last one is way over here because you don't want that getting away from you. As tight as you can without breaking the yarn, guys. And then you're going to tie a knot, one knot, and keep these strands together. These strands here, you're going to incorporate into the inside of the hat, and that's what you're going to use to darn it inside of the hat. So the rest of this, okay, is going to be your preference how you cut this. And my scissors are horribly dull. Rats. I do not like to cut yarn with dull scissors. Oh, this is awful. I have other scissors, but then I'd have to get up again. Why did I pick the dullest pair of scissors I own? I'm going to throw these away, I guarantee you, after this. Well, goodness. Okay. I bought one of those because I groom my poodles myself. I have my own grooming equipment. I have an ulster. And so I bought a blade sharpener. And it was kind of junk. I thought, oh, because I would send my blades off to be resharpened. I have somebody that I use. I send them off. And does a really good job. Because they're like $30, $40, $35, $40 per blade. So, okay. Now, that's a little cockeyed, but anyways. All right, so those two there. See that two? That two there? Your two tails. All right. So turn your hat inside out. See that tail there? You should have a tail on your hat. I'm Remember the tail and where your hole is? Okay, so now I'm going to take these two here and I'm going to go through this stitch here and this stitch here, and I'm going to bring this hole together, and I'm going to incorporate this. No, hang on a second, I'm doing this wrong. My apologies. Scratch that. Okay. These strings, apologize, it's late and I'm tired. Find your hole. Find the center of your hole. Remember, keep in mind where your hole is, because these two strings are going to go into that hole. Come on, light, work with me. So see what I'm doing? I'm pulling it through. Okay, I'm pulling it through there. All right, now turn your hat inside out. Okay, now you have this little guy here that you're going to wrap around and turn it into a knot. Ta-da! Dun 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 dun. Just do that about 3 times. And if you want to incorporate these two tails even more into the inside stitch, you can. Just find one side to pull it through. You don't have to. But leave me alone. I like my light over there. And then bring this back over here and just, you're just making an extra little security there. You don't have to. That's excess. All right. So now you have. Dun, dun, dun. So this I am going to even out with some different scissors. If you will just give me a minute here. Okay. These are a little bit better. Okay, sorry about that. All right. Okay. I cannot sit at a table and do this. My back hurts just laying here, so I apologize. I don't have the best setup here. All right. So what I do, and this is however you want to do it, I'm just going to try to even it out, shape it up a little bit. Did I get more dolls? Are you going to be kidding me? Wait a minute. Did I pick the wrong scissors? Wait a minute. I tested these before I pulled them out. I have like a bunch of old scissors, and I need to just throw them away. Really and truly. Where's my? These are the scissors I'm looking for. Should be sharper. I just bought some scissors. Where's them? Okay. Anyways, they don't last very long. I mean, there's cheap ones that I buy at the dollar store, but you definitely don't want to use dull scissors, because then you have funky, fringy looking. You want them nice and neat edges there. Okay. I'm going to shape it up a little bit. When I cut, look, I cut upwards like that. But again, it's your fringe. You can do it however you want. But I would definitely be using more to make it a thicker, denser palm. But again, that's up to you. But the more strands that you use when you were doing your pile there will depend on what kind of palm you end up with. Okay, you just want a little bit of fringe. And again, the fringe is completely optional. You don't even have to do this. If you want to, you can even buy a different kind of palm or a bow or whatever it is you want to use. It's completely, this is just optional decor, guys. Doo-doo. But I don't want it all funky looking. Just try to make it even. Anyways, so you get the idea. That's the whole purpose, to get you the idea. And I would probably shorten that up a bit. Okay, so now all I have to do is, well, first, this thing over here, this big old loop I got left, let's close that up. Okay, we're done. We're going to close that up, and then we're going to darn that on the inside of the hat. Darn it on the inside of the hat so you don't have any excess stuff sticking out. Should know where where it begins or ends, really. I'm going to just use a smaller needle here. And I'm going to bring that on the inside of the hat. I'm going to bring this loop down. Show what I'm doing here. I'm going to bring this loop, this last loop, I'm going to bring that to the inside, and I'm just going to put it in one little half of the stitch so it just disappears, basically, kind of deal. Or if that's not how you want to end a stitch, just close it up. Just bring it through. That's fine, however you want to do it. Yeah. And bring it through. Different ways to darn it to the inside. Well, that's what I call darning it to the inside. And then when you bring your rope, your little tie thing through, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the inside of a hole. I'm going to reach through this last loop here, and I'm going to bring this through. So I'm moving it to the inside. There we go. Now I'm going to cut it here and bring it through. And that is the end of your little loop. Ta-da! All right. So then it's time to just take one little extra knot there. And you don't have to do it that way. It's just up to you. Okay. So now I'm going to take, where's my rope? Okay. And just decide which side you want for the front, because that's where you're going to begin your darning of your rope. So I'm going to come on my rope. I'm going to take the loop side, and probably this bottom row before where the ruffle starts. All right. I'm going to go down in from the front to the inside with my hook, and I am going to bring that baby through. Right through. That is going to be the beginning of your little tie there. Yeah. Now remember, this probably isn't going to be long enough, but you know, because I was kind of hurrying through just for the purposes. You want to make this one a little bit longer. Remember, you definitely want to have longer than not enough. This one's probably too short for the purposes of this hat, but I'm just showing you how to darn it through. I'm sure everybody probably knows how to darn it through, but I'm just showing you how I do. And then I go from the inside. I'm going from the inside now because the rope's on the outside. Now I'm going from the inside to bring it back through, and then just keep alternating. Whoop. See, that's why you kind of want your chain a little, when you make your chain kind of tight, so it doesn't. And I need a bigger hook right now, but anyways, I'm just showing you for the purposes of how I bring it through. And now I have to go back from the outside in, from the outside in, outside, about every, I don't know, inch to 2 inches, and then bring it back through. And then now you go back on the inside of the hat another 2 inches away and bring it back through this way, and just keep going back and forth until you get all the way around and you're done. Yeah. Going back down from the outside the inside, bringing it through. All right, and then I go from the outside back in, outside back in. No, sorry, from the inside to the outside, bringing it through, and just keep alternating. Now I have to go up, down from the outside in to bring it through. Off fiddly-do. Be careful when you're pulling that rope through that it doesn't, you got to get it all the way around your hook, otherwise you'll just pull part of that through. Okay. And then I've probably got one more to go, and I'm probably not doing this evenly. I think I popped up a row, but anyways, you get the idea, I hold. All right, so there you go. And I bring it a little closer together. Actually, wait a minute, I have to come back up through. You want to end up on top. Your rope needs, both of them needs to be on top. So I got to go back down and bring it back through one more time, and then I'm done. Dun, 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 dun. Ta-da! Guys, I think I do have enough to make a little bow. Just a little. I would still make it a little, just a wee little bit longer. And then, just sort of tighten up your edges, cut that. That should have been, this part here should be chained. Braided, I mean. Got a little bit extra that looks more like fringe than it does a braid. It's supposed to be braided. I'm trying to braid that edge there. It's supposed to be braided. All right, then make a little knot on the end there. Okay, anyways, so you get the idea, right? You get the idea. Well, now it's just like a knot or something. Okay, I'm trying to do this upside down. That's the problem. I'm looking at it upside down. All right. Okay, now I am done. I have a hat completed. And ta-da! Baby hat. And with a little tiny ruffle. Normally it would be a bigger ruffle. So here's your front. You got your little thingy there. And again, use your imagination if you want to just put little ribbons and stuff, or little bling bling, however you want to do it. Just use your imagination. But that's it. And that is for the hat. And I'll do the booties separate. Now I have a mess to clean up. So I hope that's helpful. Oh my gosh, 2.5 hours. Anyways, so I will try to go through and put in the description where I started the ruffle. So once I get to the point where I'm not adding stitches and all this other stuff, where you're just doing the single chain through. There you go. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention to anybody commenting. Anyways, that's the baby hat, and I will try to write down the steps just to get you an idea. And the description is probably going to be tomorrow before I do that. So if you're seeing this before I add this up to description, it's in the middle of the night, so I'm sorry. Come back to this, and I promise you I will have the steps written down. And I will do the baby booties to match this. I hope you have a blessed evening. And let me know what colors you like if you want to. I'm going to do some giveaways, crochet giveaways. Let me know what your favorite colors are. Stay blessing.